It's the last day of streaming before Eternal Weekend. I need to check up on one of my best decks of all time, Atraxa Oath, to make sure it is, in fact, not a good choice. All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers. This is the Wednesday night before Eternal Weekend. Eternal Weekend starts on Friday. Obviously, if you are viewing this on YouTube, we're probably past Eternal Weekend at this point. But I am traveling to Four Seasons and Eternal Weekend in Europe right after. So we're going to try to build up a nice catalog of serious testing with serious decks. So tonight, I am going to probably play at least one league with the Lurrus PO deck that I really have been enjoying, but at first, I'm going to play with one of the other decks in my repertoire, Oath and Tell. Oath and Tell is a deck that I top-aided Eternal Weekend in Europe with last year. It's a deck that I worked on with Brian Koval a little bit, which led to him winning Black Lotuses and multiple other tournaments. Put teammate and friend Dan in the top 8 of Eternal Weekend in the States last year. So a deck I'm very, very familiar with, and a deck I have mostly written off going into Eternal Weekend, and I will tell you why. I don't think this deck is bad. It's mostly that I don't like how it lines up with what I think will be the most played deck in the field of Esper Lurrus Control. As well as, I think, the second most played deck in the field, Jewel Shops. Those are two of my predictions for maybe the more played decks in the field and bad matchups for this deck. Now, we can make the Jewel Shops and other combo-related matchups better by playing more Null Rods, more Thoughtseize effects, that kind of thing, and we are in this list doing that. Consigned to Memory as well. But I think it's just a very large hill to climb, even if I like the matchup against Blue-Black Lurrus, Dredge, Shops. The Mono White matchup, actually, having some problems with that matchup. Maybe the Witch Enchanters have definitely made things a little bit worse in that case, but we are going to go back to the old Sarah's Emissary edition to up the winning show and tell targets. So anything special about this list? I do think Abrupt Decay is a card that I hadn't played in the past, but I think is much more necessary now that so many Containment Priests are running around, especially Containment Priests out of the Esper Lurrus deck. Without Abrupt Decays and Lost Goodbyes, those style cards, that matchup can be very, very daunting. So we're going to play some Abrupt Decays. We are going to play the Bayou, which was a contentious point last year, just so we can cast some main deck Thoughtseizes. Thoughtseizes should help us in the combo matchups, and they should also help us in different Lurrus matchups as well. Being able to try to clear the way through for an Oath of Druids can sometimes be easier than like holding open Flusterstorms and that kind of thing. There's a third Oko on the board. I kind of like a Narset right now just because it is an anti-Jewel card, and Jewel is one of your hard matchups. I don't know if this mana base is going to be very happy with a Narset. Narset not exactly friends with Forbidden Orchard, a combination I have definitely hated in the past. But maybe we can get away with it. Anything else is interesting here? This list is foregoing Leyline of the Void in the sideboard. Dredge is not really on the downturn that I would hope Dredge would be on. Dredge is not a deck that's performing well in the data, but it is a deck that's playing high play rate in the data. Last weekend, the most registered deck was actually Dredge, if you don't combine the two Lurrus control decks. If you combine the two Lurrus control decks, it slightly outweighs Dredge, but lots of the field it was Dredge last week, like 17%. So I don't know if that means there's a lot of people practicing for Eternal Weekend. We're going to register Dredge. That could be the case. We'll have to see. But we're going to play a league with this deck. This is one of the decks that I really feel proficient on in the format, a deck that's powerful. The problem I have with this deck personally is the matchup spread, and I also just I think it's a little too jammy for my taste. You do ask a lot of questions, but you don't have a lot of answers to opponents' questions, which is something I don't really like about the deck. It's not a disqualifier or by any means, and especially if you're a person who doesn't mind that, then it's not a disqualifier at all. But it's just like a personal preference on like what kind of vintage decks I prefer to play. So 5-match league with Show and Tell, Atraxa, Oath. All right, round 1. We have got the PO Mastermind from Italy. This is at least will be a Tinker matchup. Is this hand acceptable? Wow, that's an interesting hand. Hmm. I feel like this is acceptable. We have Crypt spin with top, and then if it's not good, we can crack away, end of turn a Brainstorm. Obviously not the highest value Brainstorm, but it utilizes our mana pretty efficiently. Doesn't have a counterspell in it, but maybe we can spin to a counterspell. I don't know. This might be a little too do nothing of a hand to keep with this deck, but let's try it. Okay, that's a resolver. Let's do a little spinning action. Atraxa Vamp. Huh. So we could technically draw Vamp and Tinker. That's using a lot of our resources, and it's very all in, but it's something we could choose to do. We could just wait. I guess we could play our Underground Sea, draw, Vamp, and Atraxa maybe, and then Tinker. So we could still Vamp on the upkeep, and then Tinker off of our Crypt, leaving our top. I mean, is that a high chance of winning? Don't know, but I don't think this is a shuffle away moment. So I'm gonna play the Underground Sea and see how it goes. We also have a 7-card likely Tinker keep from our opponent, so we have to keep that in mind as well. One problem of this ordering is doesn't give us any ability to cast force, to like find a force. Not that we really want to be vamping for a force. Because we can still get rid of 2 cards with this Brainstorm by end of turning a Brainstorm, grabbing probably Atraxa and Vamp and getting rid of some lands. It will be interesting to see if, I don't know, we're playing into like Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce by going too far. Yeah, I did not put much thought in the mana base. I took a recent list. This is not a tuned and Justin ready Eternal Weekend list. So I'm definitely on board. How much value does a Mox Pearl have here? I mean, we don't need 2 lands, so I feel like we can just. I mean, it definitely has value if we want to eventually go for an Oath. No, I mean, I'm big on mana bases too, especially fetch lands. I really dislike incorrect fetch land allocations. But yeah, definitely a list I pulled from somewhere other than my brain. I am the copy paste meta. I'm still trying to think if this pearl has any more value. Probably not. Let's just do it this way. So the biggest problem, I guess I could theoretically just go vamp for an orchard. I feel like vamping for Tinker is the highest value play, or like the most powerful play here, not the highest value play. But I feel like it's also just really vulnerable. Loses our mana crypt, which could be useful. Probably an Oath just makes more sense. It's not like we can protect or even Thoughtseize or anything ahead of time. I guess I could theoretically, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I guess I have a spin. I can spin and see if I have a force. If I go for a non-3 drop line as well. No force. I have Bayou Misstep. I guess Misstep is our best card to keep on top. Not a bad card to keep on top, all things considered. I'm not sure if I exactly like the way this game has played out for me, but it's also very much a product of the cards the hand I chose to keep, which I didn't have to keep. Brainstorm. Yeah. I think I'm okay with misstepping this. We do lose our top, I guess, if we oath, but if we oath, then we're fine. All right, so we did resolve an oath with a spirit token in play, but our opponent is on non-Lurrus Brainstorm Underground C dot deck. So let's see how this plays out. Opal. Okay, so it is PO. Basically, no decks play Opal besides PO at this point. And even the PO decks are a little bit sad to play Opal. Down to 2 copies recently. Are we just getting Vault Keyed? I mean, we could have prevented this with the mental misstep. This was about the, I mean, there were maybe 2 1-drops that I would like to have mental missteps. Key, Soul Ring, Ancestral were definitely the ones. So, yeah, I mean, my opponent went from 1 mana to a lot of mana, and I take infinite turns and beats me. All right. Seems good. How do we want to play against a possible PO deck? Feels like a Null Rod, especially if they're playing Volt Key. Feels like a Null Rod matchup. At that point, cards like Petal. It's not like a Jewel deck where I need to have Null Rod on turn 1. I mean, Volt Key is very powerful. Very powerful. So I think Mana Crypts and Lotus Petals seem bad. Negation and Traps make a lot of sense, but I don't really like the idea of Consign. I usually like the idea of some Okos, but I don't know how many Okos you actually need. And then Abrupt Decay kind of depends on if they play Containment Priest still or not. Abrupt Decay obviously hits Vault Key, but that's not really what we're trying to do with that card. I wish I had the basic to cut, but I guess we no longer have a basic in this deck. It's just quite interesting. We can probably trim on some amount of show and tell. It's not a bad card here, but it's not the craziest card here. I mean, you can trim Oath as well. Trimming show and tell is trimming blue cards. It's like, do you need an Abrupt Decay? Probably not. And we still have Sinker Citadel. I mean, this top is probably bad with 3 Null Rods too. At that point, are we still tinkering Citadel? Probably. It's been a while since I boarded with Oath. Lots of questions. Though, to be fair, the Oath versus Tinker PO matchup is not a one you see very often these days. Let's try something like this. Not convinced this is perfect, but seems like a reasonable way to go. We've got a turn 1 Null Rod. Keep. I could wait and have Flusterstorm up for my Null Rod on turn 2. It kind of depends on like how good do I think Null Rod actually is. I'm willing to try waiting. Don't exactly know the contents of my opponent's Esper. I assume it's Esper PO list. Oh, well, now the jig is up. I won't be Flusterstorming a Gataxian Probe, so. Oh, I guess they could play Lavinia. Yeah, I was thinking concealing information and upping storm count were better, but this is kind of yeah, I think this is okay to fluster. But they know my cards in hand as well. But you're right. I kind of wrote off Lavinia because I am a huge Lavinia hater. I cut Lavinia a lot, even from Lurrus decks. I end up cutting Lavinia a lot. But you're right. That is definitely a card that's worth playing around. I guess they could theoretically be on days. We drew another Moxen. I guess there's no point not to. I mean, the plan is definitely strip mining this card here. And then I guess playing around Mindbreak Trap makes more sense. Oh, I played the wrong Mox. That's my fault. I should definitely have played the other Moxen that they knew about. Just a brain fart moment. I mean, they might be thinking about letting this resolve because I've shown them I have 2 Moxen. Totally possible. I'm gonna play this out because of Mindbreak Trap. I'm not because of Mindbreak Trap, because of Lavinia. but also third because of Mindbreak Trap. Drawing another Mox in there was quite bad for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to play the Null Rod. Instead, I can just play Demonic Tutor that turn. I guess that's totally reasonable. I didn't really consider it. I don't know. Like, I'm going to hit my stuff eventually here. It's not like they're attacking my mana. Probably has to be tropical. So what is this getting? It's got to be Ancestral. I guess if they play Hull Breacher, Ancestral's kind of bad. I don't have an Orchard, so getting an Oath is pretty silly. I don't have a land. I could just get a land. I feel like they have counter magic. I'm just getting Ancestral. I feel like they almost assuredly have a force that they considered using on this Null Rod, but then just because I had shown them Pearl, they chose not to. An Oath. I feel like you can play an Oath here instead of an Ancestral, because if they do play a Hull Breacher, this just lines up better. Like, I'm never really, like, they would just wait. If they have more land, it's better for them. If they don't have more lands, it's not that bad, not that good. But this kind of just, like, dissuades the whole thing. Maybe they have hard cast negation from this spot. I feel like that's a big win for me. If they're negating this Oath, isn't that not a big win for me? Maybe they thought I, like, drew an Oath and tutored an Orchard there. Feels pretty good. This is a tough matchup. Mox, 4 cards in hand versus 3 cards in hand. That's a lot of mana. Hardcast Force is now available. Mindbreak Trap. Definitely not casting Ancestor on my turn. Maybe we can try to bait them into like a Mindbreak Trap sequence. Seems like it'd be hard to do after they've already played the Opal. Like if they had an Opal plus a payoff for all the mana, then I get to go Ancestral. They go for a counter. I wipe the whole stack with a trap. My opponent's typically hasn't played into that in the past, but maybe we can make it happen. Time Vault. So we need another spell here. Still don't think this is getting much better for me, but if they have a, I guess if they have a Hull Breacher, it's pretty bad. I want to be able to untap. I don't have a land yet. Maybe I need to wait until I have a third land so I can guarantee that I untap into a show and tell. I don't have another strip mine. I have a Boseiju theoretically, but I probably play the Boseiju as a land. I don't really like casting Ancestral here. Still. Misstep. Interesting. I don't know. I'm just getting like some amount of Hull Breacher vibe. It's weird though, because this opponent isn't someone who usually registers Hull Breacher, but there has been some recent successes with different Tinker Hull Breacher variants, other than Breach. The Japanese player had a 5/0 with a blue-black Tinker variant. Actually, kind of reminded me of an old True Hero deck. But this is definitely just Esper PO, so it's probably just Snapcaster Mentor, possibly Lavinia, possibly Teferi, Merchant Scroll. Okay. I mean, I don't think they're going to Ancestral right now, but I guess they could go for PO here. Or anytime for that matter. This might be tough for me. It's really good if they go for Ancestral. But they might go for PO considering how much mana they have. But this doesn't actually make any mana back, so it makes more sense to go for Ancestral. Hull Breacher is win more. I used to feel that way. I'm not so sure anymore because it does present a they merchant scrolled for a Flusterstorm. Huh. What does that mean? I feel like that means I'm not supposed to cast my Ancestral Recall still. I really would like to hit a land. That's a flash. That's not bad. It at least gives me things to work towards here. What a weird game. But what I was saying was Hull Breacher facilitates, I think, a reasonable combo win con of Twister. In a better way than Bowmaster does. Is it PO then? Oh, it's Yogwill. Oh, shit. Okay. That's really bad for me. They have a land, and then they have a merchant plus a merchant, and they have a negation and a time walk and a probe. And if I ancestral, they just fluster now, and I don't really actually have a good trap target. I still think I probably have to force this issue here. I was not super prepared for merchant for fluster, but mental misstep. Oh, wait, this works out really well if they end up going for a fluster, because now I can misstep their misstep and then trap the stack if a fluster happens. Fluster might not happen yet, because the ancestral doesn't actually mean countering Yogwill. All right. See if they have another one, I guess, is the question. All right, Mindbreak Trap. How does that make you feel? If it no double fluster, they merchant for a fluster and had double fluster. He's too good. He's got my number. He beats me every time. All right, shit. Does that restrict their mana in a way that's like good enough to win this game, or nah? I can't believe he merchant for a second fluster. I mean, theoretically, he could have drawn a second fluster, but all right. So what does this mean? This means Underground Sea. So it means, I think it just means probe time walk though, right? It's just land probe time walk. It's not too bad. They will know that our hand is Flash Atraxa / Show and Tell Atraxa. Both good, obviously. Probe. Either Fetch or Tundra, depending on how many lands they have left in their deck here. Probably have another Underground Sea, but time walk. No, they're just going for Merchant Scroll. Are they going to go for Force? They went for Ancestral. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe the Probe drew a Force? I feel like I have to just flash right now. I don't think I have a choice. Like, I feel like, yeah. Okay, so they drew Force. Pitching what? Pitching. They drew Force of Will and Force of Negation, leaving them with just Ancestral in their hand. That's not even that bad for me, though. Like, this Ancestral can miss. Though I guess I can hit PO. Yeah, I mean, whew, pretty good probe. I mean, my opponent, this is how all my matches with my opponent go. It's pretty good. All right. 3 fresh ones from the opponent here. Ancestral Recall, Ponder. I mean, they can draw PO at any point here. I don't even hate the way I played this game. I kind of like the way I played this game in general. Besides maybe the Null Rod. The Null Rod play might have been premature. But like besides the Null Rod, I feel like the choices I made in terms of like when I chose to use my spells and my counters were pretty reasonable. This is the PO Master, though. The Power 9 has given up on PO, and I'm a bit of a content creator, so the one holdout. Do need to hit a land. Did hit the land. All right, does chat like Narset here? I kind of like Narset here. Narset looks pretty good here. Dress down, sure. I'm gonna take a force. A force looks pretty reasonable. Then maybe I can find another blue card, get a stick of show and tell. I don't think so. I think our chance of winning this game is playing Visaggio as a land. They have plenty of other mana here. They can fully operate without an Academy. And the Academy, Narset Resolving does pretty much stop most of the Academy's the problems with the Academy. Like, their best non-PO play is Mentor. But they've already used Yogwill, and so the rest of their deck is mostly draw spells. I mean, Tinker, 12 life, like, but like Besagioing an Academy doesn't stop Tinker. I don't know. I have to play to win the game. I can't just like play to stop my opponent. It's a little too late for that after the sequence that happened the turn before. We had like successfully countered the Yogwill, and then maybe we could have some reasons. Oh yeah, I mean, I think I didn't give the Null Rod lines enough thought. I do think it's probably likely I would still end up playing a Null Rod afterthought, but like I didn't give it enough thought. And then maybe like playing around Hull Breacher at all is just silly. It's a little hard when you're not playing against a stock list, right? But oh, you don't like stripping beforehand. What is a change? Just like you don't want to use the land so you can play DT on the next turn and let them have a Tundra. I guess that's fair. I don't know. I'm used to stripping a dual land out of PO with a Null Rod being quite a powerful play. But we obviously have no information to guarantee that it is a powerful play. But that's fair. It's quite the battle for our round one here. Yeah. It is still... So they might have had this force the whole time. How many cards did they go down to when that Yogg resolved? One card, right? So they probably had like Force Fluster and Misstep. So that time they probably had maybe at least Force. Hard to say. What would they cast between there? They didn't really cast much between there. One is in the tank. There are very few answers in traditional Esper PO to a Narset resolved. The big ones are like Snapcaster and Mentor attacking. I'm not sure where the opponent lands on Repeal. I like to play Repeal, and they have plenty of mana to play Repeal. This is another deck that I was considering for Eternal Weekend before I found the Lurrus version, which I find to be a little better. I was definitely considering just jamming an Esper Tinker or PO deck. I just really wasn't thrilled about it, so finding a deck like Lurrus PO where I enjoyed it a little bit more, the Turbo Volkey deck, that was nice. Oh, I agree. I have a lot of respect for the Italian PO master over here. Merchant for a second Fluster. Well, we don't know if they had a Fluster, not when they did it, but... How delusional would it be to play powerless Doomsday? I think quite delusional. Most of Doomsday's power, in my opinion, comes from Black Lotus and Ancestral and Gush. Obviously, Gush is not power. But like, I would not recommend powerless Doomsday. I typically don't recommend powerless anything, but if you want to play, then you want to play, and the best chance, I believe the best non-power deck is mono red. Or is a Saga? Yeah, fair. If you wanted a low power or powerless blue deck, I don't even know what I would choose. I just like don't think that's like the problem with playing a powerless blue deck is that you just lose a bunch of blue mirrors because you don't have power. Bug? I guess. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. All my bug opponents start with their 4 Mox in their hand, so it's a little hard to tell. But yeah, I don't know. Like Ancestral and Walk are, I think Walk especially, bug one of the better Walk decks. I don't know. If people are playing powerless, I usually just recommend mono red or like some kind of scam package. Like some kind of depths package. Those are the kind of things I like to go for. Opponent is either taking a walk, a smoke break, or really in the tank. Not 100% sure. If you look at unpowered lists from Japan's Eternal Weekend, the best performing one was actually a mono white initiative deck, but I don't really like that deck unpowered. I think power is part of the reason to play mono white. And then there was a bunch of unpowered mono red decks, and I think that's the best way to go. On an actual note, I think you can build land-based combo fast bond in a way that you actually do beat blue-black Lurrus. I just don't think you beat any combo deck is the problem. Where like mono red with like a turn 1 null rod, turn 1 blood moon and stuff can beat random powerful combo decks and stuff like that. Fish as in merfolk or fish as in small creature backed by force of will beatdown? Yeah. If you're talking about actual factual merfolk, I believe the best version of merfolk plays almost full power. So, all right, my opponent has passed the turn, 7 cards in hand, and I am untapping with Show and Tell, Atraxa, Force of Will, and a Narset activation. Maybe my opponent has to leave, or they're just apologizing for the wait. Don't know. Let's wait to find out. Problem with connection. Okay, no problem. No worries. No worries. We're just chit-chatting. Thoughtsees. Okay. I will let them take my force, I guess. If they don't take my force, then I think that's also okay. Like, they could take a Atraxa here, and that stops me from being able to show and tell, but I could still hit. Okay, yeah, force has been taken, so I got nothing left. I can F6. Last day. Monolith. It looks like our opponent just had some internet problems. Bolt. Oh, pass the turn. Okay, I'm happy we're getting a turn. I'm surprised they took the Force of Will. But maybe they have a counterspell. We drew another Force of Will. There's no way they have a third Fluster, right? Time Walk, Oko. While I think Time Walk is the better card here, I don't exactly want to pitch my Time Walk. Don't think I need an Oko. So let's grab an Oko and let's... I mean, my opponent could show and tell a Citadel here. It's certainly something that can happen. I just hit every color that was not blue. Show and tell. Why am I not playing Doomsday? Because I think Doomsday has just an unsalvageable matchup into Lurrus. That's the main reason. I want putting in a Citadel, or what's going on here? Yeah, they put in a Citadel. I still don't hate this spot. Oath, Besage. So we got a Besage. Do we have a land? Oh, I can't take Besage and a land. Why not play Lurrus? Because I don't like the deck. It's not fun for me. And that's important. So if I take Besage, I don't actually have a green mana source to Besage their Citadel, but I mean, we are going to have double force and a Thoughtseize on the next turn. So it's not really that bad for us. I'm always taking Besage, right? I guess I could Oko the Citadel next turn, so I could, instead of taking Besage, I could take Underground Sea and Thoughtseize them. Is that like a worthwhile endeavor? But then, I mean, I might end up having to double force, so it's kind of silly. And like, what good card could they have that they didn't put into play last turn? No, I kind of just like this. They had 7 cards in hand, and then they played 4 of them. Don't know. Let's find out what happens. Oh, I am a person who greatly values one, repetition and comfort level in deck selection, and 2, enjoyment in deck selection. I think both of those things are extremely important to having a successful Magic the Gathering event. I probably weigh those a lot higher than the average person. They're going to draw 1 card off of the PO. Sure. Yo, what up? Those are really hard things to quantify. But, yeah. Merchant Scroll. Merchant Mystical Tutor. Mystical Tutor for a Steel Sabotage. Okay. It's pretty good. I only have 1 force for this. Force off the top down to 3 life. I guess I can kill this. Maybe I should have let this happen and Besage you. I mean, I still can hold up Besage you on Time Vault Key, which is probably important. They've already used their Yogwill, right? So actually, I should just kill the Time Vault now. Let's think about this for a second. I have a negation on their turn. They're at 3 life. If I just kill the Time Vault, they can't take infinite turns ever. And, oh, they actually have PO mana. Okay, let's not do that into PO mana. I guess if they have PO at all, I can't do anything about it, right? Okay, if they didn't PO there, I don't think they have a PO. So now I kind of want to do it at least on upkeep here. It gives them a shuffle on their Citadel, but that doesn't matter too much. In response to my Besage. Oh, they have, but like if they have a PO, I want to be able to negate it. So I want to, on their upkeep, I want to Besage. Maybe I just mixed up my words. It's possible I just mixed up my words. I'm streaming. It happens. All right. So my opponent can't draw multiple oh, I still have a Narset in play. Sorry. I think I may have blanked on the fact that I still have a Narset in play. The Null Rod is the card that got put up, not the Narset. I think that was my confusion. Sorry. I lost one of my restricted pieces and it was not the Narset. All right, got there. Let's go. I feel like I won that game with nice choices, which is always a good feeling. What do we want to do now? Anything different? That is definitely the risk of show and tell in this matchup, but I don't think it's that big a deal. No. I am cool with this. It's kind of weird because I actually think Narset it's weird because there's a lot of creatures running around. But the decks that Narset is good against, it's very good against. Like, it's quite good against Jewel. It'd be a cool card to be unrestricted, actually. Narset caused a lot of conflict when it was unrestricted, but the format was really different. There was a lot of tinkering and stuff happening, and I don't know. It'd be cool to have that card back. This also gives you like another thing to do if you're not playing Lurrus, which I think is upside. Keep this in. Doesn't do too much, but I like it. Sure. Nice. I kind of like these Thought Seizes in Esper PO. That vibes with me. It does feel like the upside of Thoughtseize has increased recently as well. Just the way the format's set up. Negation was taken. Okay. A Narset. Let's listen to Andreas here and play around a possible Lavinia, though we didn't see any Lavinias, and they might board Lavinia out against Oath when you think about it. But it doesn't hurt much to get a Ruby in play. 5 minutes left on my opponent's clock. Narset was a great draw. Narset has been unbelievable in these matchups, but we also haven't drawn very many Orchards, which has been part of the upside here. I don't think I'm supposed to hit this Demonic. What did they not see? I kind of forget. Is it Narset and Orchard? I should probably have taken that down. Oh, it shows up over here? Oh. That's cool. I don't think I need to fetch twice. Has it always done that? I feel like it hasn't always done that, but maybe I'm an idiot. How many years have I been streaming this platform? Force. I'm gonna force back. Oath and show and tell. Oh, I like Oath here. Let's do that. It's always done that? I feel like I have not utilized that function. Are we getting tinkered on? Are we getting Vault Keyed? Please no. Please no. Maybe I can get a Null Rod actually here. Oh, I guess if I use the Orchard and for a Null Rod, then there's some problems with that line. What can I hit off this Narset that makes me happy? An Abrupt Decay, or they boarded all those out. Boarded all of them out. I guess what I could do is if I hit a Null Rod, I can just wait on the Orchard for one more turn. Cool. I kind of like that idea. I guess I could just take an Oko. I don't really like that idea. I think I just like this Null Rod idea. Seems nice. Like, if they can't play Vault Key and they can't draw cards, then they're just not going to be able to do anything. No, I let the DT resolve and they force my Narset. So this is one more turn for the Oath. What is this? Ancestral for 1. Sure. But I feel like this is less likely to be a huge problem. Narset has been unbelievable. Whoa. They have 1 card left. I'd rather just hold up Negation than have a second Oath in play. Yeah, to be fair, we have hit the PO player. That is true. But I mean, this wasn't exactly the matchup that I was planning for it for, but the other PO deck it was the matchup I was planning for, so GG's. That was a good set. I'm pretty happy with that set for a content perspective. I thought there was lots of interesting things happening. But yeah, Narset came to play. All right, round 2, we are facing one of the Jewel players in leagues, Red Hot Phil. I do not have a Force in my opening hand. I do have a Thoughtseize off an Orchard. This hand is not going to cut it versus Jewel on the draw. On the play, I kind of like this hand. But on the draw, like if they play a turn 1 ring, I can't even Thoughtseize anyways. And then what am I even going for? I do have back flash, though. Wow, man. There is so much to not like about this hand. There is a lot. There's not. I mean, I highly suspect my opponent will be on Jewel. They almost only play Jewel, but they have a couple other things in the bag. Is this a keepable hand versus Jewel on the draw with a Jewel player going to 6? That's what I want to know. And I kind of feel like the answer is no. So I want to put it back. If I didn't have a high suspicion of my opponent being on Jewel, would I keep this hand? It seems quite possible. I'm gonna mulligan this. I kind of like this hand. It's not the best, but it's got some things going on. Okay, let's try it. When am I leaving for Europe? Will I be streaming between North America or flying right after? I'm not flying right away, but I'm not gonna commit to a stream either. I'm definitely gonna hit this so I don't get jeweled right away. But I do need to make more videos so that I can have videos every day while I'm away. So there's a possibility I stream on like a Monday or a Tuesday night after Eternal Weekend, but I just don't know. I was kind of hoping to draw a Mox or a Force there, and not drawing one does leave me in a bad spot. This does make them have PO and Ancestral Mana. Of course, I Mental Misstep Mana Vault, and my Jewel opponent goes Blue Source Ancestral. Yep, sounds about right. I don't think I'm living through this turn here. Tree Ball. Yep. No follow-up Jewel, huh? Interesting. I don't really feel like I have a play that is getting me out of this game. Because if I go for like Atraxa, they just metamorph it. I don't think there is a chance. This is just PO for 4. I guess it could just be PO for 3, keeping a transfer in play. No, they're going for 4. Yeah, my opponent hit the blue mana source. 1 of 7. Unlucky. Oh, Sapphire. This hand was just a little weak, and I did not get bailed out by my top of my library. I don't think this was a go to 5 angle. And it certainly didn't look like it would have been a very good keep 7 angle. So, not too upset about it. It's just how this matchup goes. Just how this deck functions. All the matches kind of look like this. They're either complete blowouts one way or the other. I'm just going to concede. I don't feel like I need to waste any more time here. Opponent doesn't technically know what I'm playing. I'm gonna bring in a bunch of null rods. I do like bringing in Oko because of the One Ring. I don't think I like Abrupt Decay very much, but I love all of these. What does that mean? I want to bring out a bunch of show and tells in this matchup. I hate show and tell here. Don't really like Flusterstorm or Misstep. I do like keeping a single show and tell because you are a Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor deck. Sometimes it makes the most sense. But I don't want to keep a bunch of show and tells in my deck. Don't want this Abrupt Decay. I want to board out the Mana Crypt, but I'm not going to board out the Petal. I do think it's important to play Null Rod on turn 1 if possible, but the Mana Crypt will just kill us. The probe is probably the next worst card. Is that true? Do I want all of my oaths? Probably don't need all of my oaths. Maybe a blue card makes more sense. Let's try this. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't run this Thoughtseize first. I just don't think I can. Maybe I can. Like, if I run this Thoughtseize first, but like, if I run the Thoughtseize first, I have to take a payoff. I can't even take a force anyways. So isn't it better to just like hope they don't have a single force and throw a no rod down? I kind of think so. Sure. 7 card, force pitching force. Force pitching force, blue land ancestral. I love Jewel, baby. That's my deck right there. I can play a Narset, but I unfortunately have the classic Forbidden Orchard Narset problem of my Narset will go away in the near future. I think I'm just going to cast Thoughtseize on my opponent. Grafdigger's Cage, the One Ring, Force of Will, P.O.P.O. Sync Defense Grid. What is happening? What is going on? The Null Rod wouldn't have even done anything. They don't have any artifacts. What are we doing here? Can I take Sync? Is taking Sync craziness? Probably. They just rip a workshop off the top. I mean, the only card that matters is the One Ring. So I could just take the One Ring. The One Ring isn't amazing into Narset, but it's not terrible into Narset. And they also have like a Force of Will, so they're not going to play the defense grid because they have a Force of Will. Cage doesn't really matter if I'm going show and tell. I'm going to take the One Ring. Seems like the most sound choice in my book here. I'm going to really look for... I really need to not use this Orchard on the stupid Narset. They're going to play Cage, and they're going to get rid of Sync. Okay, no problem. Yeah, perfect. So this is going to draw Force, very likely. Is that what we want? I could have just gone Brainstorm there. I don't know. I mean... This lets them to play Defense Grid, but then we play Show and Tell. Maybe this is wrong. Does it feel... It feels kind of wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's not unreasonable. Because now they just deploy Defense Grid. They got rid of their force. Kind of feels bad. Should I Brainstorm end of turn here? Is that worth it? Drew Mana Vault. So now they can actually PO. That's crazy. That's that's wild. They can actually PO. They're gonna do that. They're gonna hold open a PO for 2 here. I feel like we don't want to Brainstorm. We want to not give them an Orchard to... What is it happening? They drew a ring? Or they're just going for a PO now? Yeah, sure. All right. Loco Myoko. What does that do? What does that do? I feel like it doesn't do much when I don't have a Null Rod. Stops the one ring from like a pass the turn one ring, so that's pretty good. I don't know if I like how I played this game. I like the null rod, but then everything after that, I'm not really sure I'm vibing with the way I played this game. Yep. You got it. Urza's Saga. Could be a good one here. Could be a good one here. Graph Digger's Cage. An Oath Draw. Ooh, excuse me. An Oath Draw looks good. Orchard. All right, let's brainstorm. I am going to have to elk the cage. Because I'm not going to be able to force on their turn. But I mean, these cards are good. I can get rid of that later. But I do have to elk the cage, so. Oh, I want the Oath to trigger. I think that's better. My opponent would have to have, like, Workshop Jewel for it to be worse. I guess they have Mana Vault. That's probably enough. So maybe I do have to elk the null rod, elk the grid. But then they just get a second cage off of Saga, right? Maybe that's fine. Like, at some point, my Oak was going to die. Yeah. You're probably right. Maybe I should have just elked the grid. They already used all their POs. Oh, they copied the cage with a Metamorph. I see. It doesn't have two cages? I'm not sure. I have not I'm not sure. That's the kind of thing I would be looking at if I was playing a lot of Oath, but I haven't been. I mean, next turn I can just leave open 3 mana. And just, like, play through it that way. I did get rid of the show and tell. So this is kind of less good. Do I want that card, though? I guess. I'm not dead from this attack, right? 3, 6. No, I should be fine. I'm at 16. And I can always eat the food. Time to find out if they have another cage in their deck. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to hit the cage. That's my gut instinct. But I'm not 100% sure on the vocalization. Oh, all right. That's a good sign. Just make another construct. Unless they have a second cage. In which case, it's not a good sign. All right. What do you got, Red Hot Phil? Show me. Black Lotus? Manifold Key. All right. So no second cage. This is a 12 damage attack. They're untapping Mana Vault and playing... I did not Oath an Atraxa to the top of my deck. I chose to get a land, which I could use to crack a food token. Is this another Metamorph? Wow, that is... Oh, the Oath goes on top of... Atraxa goes on top of my deck and you draw it. It's a very common trick when there's a cage in play. If you have a show and tell in your hand, you can show and tell the Atraxa. I can't believe this just happened. That is so crazy that they have a second defense grid. Yes. I could have gone for show Atraxa by if I had kept the show in my hand instead of 2 forces, it would have been a better play. Agreed. That is so crazy. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to use my oath because I know my top card is bad, but then I draw an Atraxa and I lose anyways, so it doesn't actually help me. So I guess I lost the game because I brainstormed wrong. I needed to brainstorm the show into my hand, and that way I could still do show Atraxa on the next turn. But then they just have double metamorph. Don't they just metamorph my Atraxa and I'm not winning from there? So is that even winning? Don't even think that's winning, but it does seem better than, I mean, the only way that this line doesn't work out is if they have second defense grid though, right? I feel like I'm ready to force a card that matters here. Maybe I just can't beat these construct tokens actually. Like these are pretty big construct tokens, but yeah. I definitely should, like, there's no reason to have double force, so I should probably always have show plus force of will in my hand anyways. So there's like no reason to play double. So there's no reason not to set it up that way. I just thought this way made a lot of sense. I would have the ability to eat a food token so I can't die, and then I'd be able to force through a defense grid, but it didn't really work out that way. All right, here we go, round 3. I don't have a cat. Do you have a, oh, they have a cat? Big. I want to see some cat matchups. All right, we got a cat from the other side. I have a Thoughtseize, a Negation, and no follow-up. Ugh. Like, I would keep this hand if my opponent didn't reveal a cat. But now that my opponent has revealed a cat, I'm off it. I guess I wouldn't keep this in the blind if I didn't know my opponent have a cat, because it could be Dredge, and this is a terrible... I guess there's a Besage. I feel like I would keep this if my opponent didn't reveal a cat. But because my opponent did reveal a cat, I kind of hate this hand. I feel like it doesn't do anything. Well, my hubris. I simply flew too close to the sun. Okay, I see what you're saying now, Ari. I see what you're saying. That is, I agree. I agree. Oh. What does this hand do? I mean, I'm keeping it, but like, what is it? What are we doing with this? 2 cards are going back. Negation is going back. I'm jamming turn 1 Oko with Flusterstorm backup. That's what I'm doing. This is the classic Andy Montolio hand from the last challenge. Except I don't have an ancestral follow-up. All right. I don't have a basic. I do not have a basic. So what am I getting? I guess I'm forced to get a green land. Can I get a green? I mean, it's just a green. Oh, what? I'm just getting jammed on? Now what do I do? I have to counter this. I have to counter this. At least this way, if they wasteland, I can still like play an oath or something into a bowmaster, maybe. But like, I'm not resolving this oath right now, right? Because I think I'd rather try to resolve the Oko. They can't like destroy my Lotus unless they're not a normal Lurrus deck. Pass. I guess this way I run into Spell Pierce, but I mean I'm always running into Spell Pierce. Well, no, if I cast it, uh-oh. Do it. Play a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Bowmaster. Lavinia. Oh, I guess not Lavinia. Please not Lavinia. I didn't think about that. I didn't think that went through. I didn't think it through. Frog. A frog. A frog? Do 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 do. I don't feel good about the spot we have currently put ourselves in. What did they pitch this negation? Dress down. Interesting. What do we got? Oh, Besiege You. Oh, wait. I play. I crack. I blue. I Oko. With Spell Pierce, mana available. Elk the Lotus? Crack for black? Play Bowmaster? Island Cycle? Do they think I'm on bug? I'm gonna get dazed, aren't I? Jam. Ooh, whoa, big, big, huge. Love to see that. Love that. They lose. Game over. Oh, it's Esper. It's Esper. Oh, wait, hold on. They have outs, maybe. I don't actually know what the latest list has for Demonic Tutor. Oh, they have Caracas? They have Caracas, don't they? Next turn. I still get an Atraxa. I don't have Gaia's Blessing in this version. A card I don't want to register, but I have recently been more impressed with. All right. I would like to put an Atraxa, the Grand Unifier, in play. Boom. Citadel gone. Time Walk. Seems like a good Magic card to choose. Time Walk, Underground Sea, Narset, Pearl. I guess I could probably get away with a Crypt instead. Okay, the game ended. Yes, very good. Big. All right, Esper Lurrus. So this is the Lurrus matchup I don't want to see. Blue-black is the one I do like to see. I like the idea of another Oko, another Abrupt Decay, a Long Goodbye, and that's it. And I don't like the idea of Mana Crypt, Lotus Petal, Vampiric maybe, Negation definitely. If I had to choose one, which one I keep? Vamp? Probably Vamp. Okay. Vamp makes my Long Goodbye and Abrupt Decay better too. Submit. That is a nice one. Now is where it gets hard though, because post board on Esper Lurrus list will typically have things that make you sad. Esper Lurrus. Things like a null, as that was not what I was expecting. I would expect that from blue-black, not Esper. 4 Containment Priest. That was more of what I was expecting. No Seal. Do Esper lists not play Seal? I love Seal. Seal of Cleansing is sick. What's the Echo Baron list? A null. Okay. All right, fair enough, I guess. Interesting. Thoughtseize, Oath, Abrupt Decay, 3 mana. I love it. Keep. Big. I think, I mean, if I'm playing white Lurrus deck, I think the first Seal in the sideboard, quite good. For a lot of things. All right. I'm not supposed to, I guess I have 2 Thoughtseizes, right? So I guess I am supposed to lead with a Thoughtseize. Bayou. Underground Sea, Bayou. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a Bayou angle. No Rod. Yeah? No Rod? Against me? You shouldn't have. These 2 Wastelands are a problem. These 2 Wastelands are a problem. Uh, kind of a weird spot. I don't actually think this is super straightforward. I mean, maybe it's just always take Containment Priest. Maybe it's just always take Containment Priest. I don't know. I feel like there's some upside and downside to that. I'm having a hard time vocalizing it. I guess this ruins my black source. And if they draw a blue card, it actually ends up pretty bad for me, doesn't it? Oh. I guess I have to take the Null Rod and then not play the Oath if it... I mean, I have to see what they do. They negated it. So they have a Wasteland, a Null Rod, and something else. I shouldn't have got rid of those things. I can't get Wastelanded and Null Rod in the same turn. So I'm getting Null Rodded. I mean, all I need to do is draw an Orchard, and they can't play any creatures. Kind of a weird game. Let's have a Wasteland +1. Am I stuck? Oh, Force. So I get Wastelanded. I don't feel like it's worth it just to low mana and have them move to the next phase or whatever. Just go to the next one. Underground Sea. It's gonna work me towards a decay. Okay, nice Wastelands. I drew mana. Wonder if I thought these correctly in this game. Loco Myoko? Woo! Get a mana on that one. It's quite good. Turn the Null Rod into an elk. Turn on the Oath. Turn off my mana. No lands from my opponent. Sensei's Top. Yeah, I guess we'll play out a Sensei's Top. I mean, no, there's like nothing I need to like Abrupt Decay on end step, right? I feel like there isn't. Opponent has still not hit any mana. A long goodbye. All right. This is a problem I have with this Oath deck is you have no control over what's going on the top of the deck war. I guess Sensei's Top would technically be some amount of control, but a lot of things that are not draw spells. Okay. I guess we did get Wastelanded a couple times. It's gonna be an Orcish Bowmaster? Do they not know of the uncounterability of Abrupt Decay? Maybe they have another Wasteland. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. Ending? Could be. Could be. It's a card that probably... No, they must have a Containment Priest. They wanted to try to get the clock on, but it is not going to work out. I am uncounterable. Sorry, friendo. Guess this is gonna be a long goodbye. Pew. Okay, I will take an Atraxa. Thank you for your patronage. Lost the time wonk. Strip mine. Ancestral force. Strip mine. Ox. Enforce. Sorcery. Creature. Sure. I don't know. Whatever. Seems fine. I don't. I guess this is like kind of bad if they like holding a Caracas in their hand. I feel like that's like the only downside, but then I just like flip another Atraxa and find my. I guess I have one Boseiju left. Yeah, I probably am not supposed to waste. I mean, they could have like swords and stuff, but maybe that doesn't matter. Do I need a show and tell? I don't need a show and tell. I feel like these are my best cards. Yeah, I probably should just held the strip mine. I don't know. It's like really tempting to hit the white source though. Like, what other cards matter besides white card? Soul Rend has made an appearance. Nah, I'd rather just attack with my Atraxa, but thank you. I guess I should have pitched an Ogo. This is probably not necessary, but I kind of am over it. Yeah, that was probably not the correct way to play this game out, all things considered. You have plenty of inevitability here. You can definitely just go for another Atraxa or something. I'm not saying that was the right way to play that out. I kind of got bored. But I'll take a free Atraxa. Okay, here we go. Round 4 of our Oath League. We were able to successfully vanquish a hard opponent last round. This round, opponent has not chosen to reveal a Lurrus. Are we still playing this hand? My God. That is a question, isn't it? There's a large subset of decks that this hand is quite good against. And then there's Jewel, which this hand is quite not good against. I'm pretty willing to jam this, but I could be convinced otherwise. Mono white, dredge, shops, not Jewel shops, not breach. It's not even that bad into breach. Like I can play a top and spin or something. It's not good against breach, but it's not like we can like find blue cards, play some oaths, maybe Thoughtseize. We do currently have a Boseiju though. That is a constraining factor. I don't know. Is Eternal Weekend open deck list, not for Swiss. It is in the top 8, but not for Swiss. Which is how I would prefer it to be. All right, I'm gonna put an Oath of Druids into play. I'm gonna try to anyways. See what my opponent does. Nothing. That's a bad sign. That is a bad sign. Eternal Weekend will be streamed. Card _ Titan, I believe. We have some commentators in chat. I mean, my opponent might just concede. Oh, that is a polluted delta. That is a bad sign. That is a bad sign. I guess Doomsday would also be a matchup where I would not want to keep this in. Or was it not _ Titan? Just card Titan? Thank you. I will probably be tweeting about it if I do end up in any kind of match of the feature variety. This is actually kind of interesting because 2 Thoughtseize I have to shuffle. And then I lose out on my shuffle. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm actually supposed to Thoughtseize. I guess I can spin first, and if it's all bad, then it doesn't matter. We don't have to jam with Thoughtseize now, but it does protect us against, like, Tinker. Oh, interesting. Oko would turn on my Oath, and it's a blue card for force. So I guess that's where we're headed. So, like, next turn, I can draw the Oko and the Lotus. Thoughtseize my opponent, and then play Oko. It is Breach. Am I getting tinkered, though? I would throw a wrench in all the plans. That would be the biggest reason I would want to. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is a tropical island. That is an Oko of my opponent's. I think that's fine. They Oko mine. I Oko there. It's, like, not really fine. But, like, if I force and they force back, it's really bad for me. So I feel like it's better to let my thing get elked, draw with my top, Thoughtseize my opponent, play my own Oko. They have an emerald. I think. That is my gut instinct here. Do I need the yeah, I need the Lotus. Okay, so I draw the Lotus. Fetch. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize, target my opponent. Oh, second Oko, Strip Mine, Beseju, Psychic Frog. Wow. That is a brew if I've ever seen one. All right. So they were never really scared of this Oath. I guess I will take the second Oko. Is that wrong? Feels weird. I do have a second Oath. They have a Strip Mine. I don't have to do this right away, but I'm looking unfavored from here, right? It depends on what they do with this Beseju. If they want to, like, start making creatures and then they Beseju my Oath and I play a second Oath, that's where I can really shine from here. But I would probably need to draw another green land. Strip mine. Maybe they hit my Underground Sea. Might be better. I guess Beseju gives me my green land, so. Should be an interesting game. Classic Oko Mirror. Do I just, like, plus this? Without showing them land attack. They don't kill my Oko, right? Oh, they kill my Oko if I plus this? But then I Oath them. But Oath is not actually that good, right? Because, like, Oko just elks it. Is that can I beat an Oko? I guess they're still killing my Oko no matter what next turn, right? No, I guess I just can plus 2. It's just a question of, do I feel like I beat an Oko with an Atraxa trigger? I guess I don't have to make that choice now. I can still plus 2 and hold. None in one in the main. One in the main. Although, doesn't this open me up to like them attacking my Oko, my food token, and then their Oko survives, and I can't hit their food token if they just hold their mana, and then they get the oath. I don't even know what they're oathing into though. Like, are they oathing into frogs? Okay, they're gonna go for the Besage You on my oath line. Oh, I probably don't want their Emerald going to the yard for Cruise. I think that sounds right. I am still going to... I'm still not going to be able to get an oath off, though. Oh, I mean, if they do that, I am. Maybe? Am I supposed to crack this? Because I need to keep this in play, but I need them to not have an ability to go up. I'm going to lose my Oko. Because I have to draw a land. If I drew a land, then I can crack in response. Wow, it's kind of crazy, huh? I think I'm just cracking. I guess I could still get forced too. Let's play. Oh, if I play these rubies, then they can just turn mine off. So that doesn't even. I guess I just see if this resolves. I lose my Oko. Am I winning though? No, they had force backup. Okay. Oh, I think I hit the wrong thing. Whatever. All right. So in that case, what I need to do is play a ruby and turn it into an elk. Do I play the jet? Yeah, that was going to be my plan. I don't think I play the jet. Unless I want to attack twice next turn. I don't think that's good for me, though. Yeah, but I kind of, like, don't want to lose my black mana, right? Like, I have Demonic Tutor in my deck. But, like, am I attacking next turn with a jet? It doesn't seem likely. Maybe I have to? Oh, I mean, I guess if they attack, then I would. Maybe I should have played the jet, then. Oof, there it is. Huh. Red, green, blue, black, oof, frog. This is a 4-color world champion deck, right? 4-color Yuta Takahashi deck. Pull a Citadel. Not my best draw. I guess they can exchange. Did they target the right things? Oh no, they elked. Okay. What happens if they exchange here? I don't lose my Oko. I think I still need help. This oof is going face place. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Typically the only way to lose a game is to minus an Oko. Did I can't force this, but like I'm gonna lose my Oko here. Alright, I need to find an oath, right? So I just need to, I guess there's no way I'm playing an oath on this turn. I still think I'm using this though. Like I'm always losing my Oko here. I guess the question is, do I just like to find an oath, right? But then, like, am I even beating an Oko with an oath from this spot? Wait, now I can stand up and block. Is that good enough? Is good enough. I'm really worried that I get to this point where I oath into an Atraxa and it just doesn't even beat this Oko. I have an Abrupt Decay though, so maybe that's fine. Maybe the Abrupt Decay main covers that problem. The Citadel is haunting me. Could just be a blue card. I did just put a Time Walk on the bottom of my library with a Narset. Well, it might be so large that Time Walk doesn't do it. But the Abrupt Decay might be a saving. Classic Oko mirror with Oath. I played a ton of this mirror last year before Eternal Weekend and during Eternal Weekend. My win in for top 8 was versus Astradi in the Oath mirror. It was quite the match. All right, so what are they attacking? That's another question here. I have options on my block depending on how they attack. Yeah, aggro shops, that's the one. Oko. I mean, maybe both of these, but then I just block the spirit. Unless I send all of them, in which case I probably block the oof? Question mark? No, because then I lose my Oko. So they attack all, and I did 3 damage on Oko, and I block the Sapphire. Well, that's going at Narset, and that's going at Oko. I see. So I can choose to let Oko die, block Collector Oof, keep my thing, and I don't get my Narset activation. I can, sorry. Yeah. Wait, I may have said that wrong. But I could block here, keep Oko, keep Narset, keep this. It kind of depends on what they drew, right? I feel like I don't want my Oko to die. So I feel like losing a Narset activation to keep my Oko alive seems like it would make more sense. In which case, they just get to make a thing and attack on the next turn, though. I'm going to just block this Collector Roof and try to get my Narset through. I think that's my plan. This also frees up me to have the artifact mana off my Atraxa. I think this is the time we let the Oko die. Get our Narset for find one of the 2 remaining Oaths. Or even a Show and Tell with a Citadel. Or just draw the oath. Yeah, that too. I don't have Gaia's Blessing. Is it worth it to play 2 oaths? What if I show and tell the Citadel, though? Is that more winning? It's actually really hard. Petal is an elk. My gut instinct is oath here. I don't know if it's right, but that's my gut instinct. I feel like 2 Atraxa, they drew a negation. Yeah, but like show and tell is so bad against a counterspell. They drew a negation. Okay. I have all 4 oaths. Got them. Wild game. Wild game. This is still not even a 1 game yet. Like, I have to beat this stupid Oko. I think we can do it. But this is the kind of game I probably wish I had a Gaia's Blessing or a Yogwell. I chose not to play either, which is not very likely. This is game 1. Make a food. They attack all that Narsa, I assume, and I just eat a spirit. I guess eating a spirit could lead to a opponent having a lightning bolt or a fatal push. So I guess I actually just trade. Is that even good? It's not even good. I can like attack with this thing. I can just let this all go. I don't believe we've shuffled. So yeah, Time Walk is still on the bottom. That was a lot of milled cards. I lost not much. I did lose a Besiju. We're looking for Abrupt Decay, which we have a high percentage chance of hitting now. Hit the Abrupt Decay. All right, I think that means we're winning then. Abrupt Decay, we take the Atraxa, we take the Mana Crypts, we take the Tropical, maybe the Delta. Oh, the Delta to shuffle maybe. The Oko and the Show over the Tinker so that we can just play the Citadel. All right, that looks game winning. Oh, and Demonic Time Walk. What do we want to do? Anything? Everything? I guess Flusterstorm could happen on Demonic Time Walk, so we should just... I don't know. I have decision paralysis. Everything looks good. I don't think I want to show and tell a Citadel in because they could have something in their hand. Man. As long as I have enough mana after all of this to do it, then I guess we can just Time Walk. Okay. That was a game of Magic the Gathering. We still don't exactly know what's in our opponent's deck. But Oko looks pretty good. Decay looks pretty good. Honestly, Portal Phyrexia kind of looks pretty good. Don't know if I like the idea of negation. Can maybe consider negation. I'm worried about our mana and getting wastelanded. I'm worried about maybe Vamp. Maybe Mana Crypt. Petal. We've faced a lot of decks that are kind of slower side. Do we want negation for like the Planeswalker suite? I really don't like that idea very much. They definitely clearly have a bunch of creatures. Like they're on oofs and frogs and probably Deathrite Shamans. I don't think I want another negation. I think I just want these like low value or low what is the word I'm looking for? The bad cards at being slow. What am I blanking on the word I want? All right. Force of negation. Force of negation. I don't feel like I need a long goodbye. It's not low impact. They're high impact cards. They're bad at grinding. Agreed. I'm gonna try this. There's a word I'm looking for here, but I don't know what it is. I can't think of it right now. They're not 2-for-1s, but they are. Disadvantage. Card disadvantage. Ding, 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 ding. That is the one I was looking for. The card disadvantage. Yes. Mana Crypt, not really card disadvantage, but just I'm worried it's going to kill me in this match. Oh, whoa. Hello. Hello, hand. You are beautiful. Did anyone ever tell you that? Because I'm going to tell you that. Oh, Moxen. Classic Oof Gaming? No, not Classic Oof Gaming. Seiju, okay. Don't think I'm casting this Ancestral right now. Though if they... Yeah, I'm definitely not casting an end step either. What do we got? What do we have here? Tap out for an Oko, resolve an Ancestral? What are we thinking? Tropical Island. Does cast part of Frog. What land you getting? Volcanic? Underground Sea? Badlands! Yeah. This is definitely some Takahashi gaming. I like the idea of a tropical... Oh, maybe it was an Underground Sea. Yeah. I'm going to cast Ancestral. How do you feel? I have a lot of show and tell targets. I actually have no more Tinker targets, which is less than ideal. Where's my brain surges when you need them? Underground Sea. Okay. I'm a bit worried. Ooh, Leovold. Okay. I'm hoping to get a couple creatures and then portal them. Is kind of my plan. Gonna wait till I have Flusterstorm as well. I'm hoping they play like Oof and Frog, and then I untap and I show and teleportal with Flusterstorm back up, and everyone lives happily ever after. That's my plan. All right, take 3. What else you got? Deathrite Shaman? I am not going to mental misstep Deathrite Shaman. All right, I'm taking this as my cue. It is in fact time. I don't think there's too much downside to just using Orchard here, right? I guess if it doesn't resolve is the downside. I'm gonna play the Beseiju. I have a second show and tell though, which is nice. I guess if they have like a creature that they put in off of the show and tell, then they could save a creature. Spell Pierce. Nope. How about show and tell? Negation. Nope. How about show and tell? This gets me closer to casting Citadel. So, well, they pitched this negation, by the way. Consigned to memory. Interesting. All right, one card left in your hand. I hope it's a frog that they put into play, and then I kill it. I make them sacrifice it. All right, Portal of Phyrexia. Boom. It was not a frog. All right, not bad. I want a Leovold. Could be fun. That was pretty sweet. It's been a while since I put a Portal to Phyrexia. Yeah, Portal to Phyrexia with a W. Big. All right, here we go. 5th round. On the play. They are revealing a cat. Okay, nice. Another cat matchup. Interested to see how that will go. That does not look like a playable hand of Magic the Gathering cards. Mulligan. That... Man. Yeah... I guess. I think I bottomed this misstep. I force check him. I'm not thrilled. But this is the kind of hand I keep with this deck, because that's just the kind of deck it is. No. Force check achieved. Pitching days. Good to know. I don't think there's a good enough good 1-mana spells to keep Missile Misstep. So I like keeping Flash as a way to like have a thing to do later if I draw an Atraxa and a blue source. But I would put us at very unlikely to win this game. I don't really think mulliganing to 5 was a reasonable play. And we still have the mana to play an Oath, which is quite good in the matchups. Probe into obvious Bowmaster is less than ideal, but I think I'm still supposed to do it. I just need to hit action. We drew the Oath, and they have a Spell Pierce and a Wasteland and a Demonic Tutor. I will not play my Oath into a Spell Pierce. Okay, this game looking a little more playable now. They can go Demonic. Maybe get an Ancestral, hold up Spell Pierce Ancestral. I'm surprised they didn't Demonic. Like, there's not that many. I guess, like, just Oath off the top is worth it. All right, well, now I feel like I have to Oath. I am regretting not having Mental Misstep for Spell Pierce, though. I will jam the Oath into the Spell Pierce here, because I do need to resolve this Oath eventually, and then this makes them a turn away from casting this Ancestral, so... Because their hand should be Ancestral +1. Now Ancestral +2. Maybe they can, like, play a Frog here. It would be ideal for me. If I can squeeze this game, that would be real nice. But it still seems unlikely. Esper Lurrus. Oh, no. Ah, sweet. That's awesome. Frog go? We might be able to sneak this one. I don't feel like they have a second daze, but there's no reason not to play around it. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. It's playable. I'm not gonna count my chickens yet. But we might be able to get our way through this. They have a bunch of swords. It's gonna probably depend on our Atraxa triggers. They could hit Time Walk here is pretty good. Maybe go for a buff frog angle. Both of the Lurrus players we played against are on Esper. And Mogg has switched to Esper. They hit the Time Walk. So I do think that Esper will be the deck of choice for Eternal Weekend gamers, but we'll have to see if that pans out. It was certainly the choice in Asia, but I don't know if that will... I don't 100% know that will carry over. It's a little hard to draw as... Whoa, it's actually Deathrite Shaman Lurrus. I like that a lot, too. I think it's a bit underplayed. There's definitely some advantages to having Deathrite Shaman. Looks like they discarded it, so they can maybe buy it back with Lurrus, get a little more damage. No. Esper is very, very good against Oath. They play 4 Containment Priest. We're very good against blue-black. They don't have enough stuff. They did not replay the Deathrite Shaman, which means I assume they're holding open-end negation. Or maybe just swords. I mean, I don't know. It's a little weird. Yeah, swords, Atraxa, makes sense. We still get a trigger here. When Magic Online lets me. 2 cards left in my opponent's hand. Magic Online, please. Okay. Oh. Oh, Bowmaster. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. 1 card. 2 Atraxas. Uh-oh. Abrupt Decay, Ancestral Lotus, Show and Tell, Force. Huh. All right. I like Tropical, and I like Show and Tell, and I like Lotus, and I like Atraxa. And then do I want Force, Abrupt Decay? I guess I can't cast Abrupt Decay unless I use my Lotus for black. They have 1 card. I think I'd like to Show and Tell a Citadel, but then I'm like pretty unlikely to put in... I don't need a Force though. And I can't really use the Ancestral perfectly. But do I need to? But I have Flash. So I feel like Abrupt Decay still makes the most sense. And then I draw. I have a lot of choices again. This is quite wild. Maybe I do need a Force for like a second Swords. I could just start by flashing and then showing a Citadel. Because I have Anatrax on the bottom of my library. Is that correct? Do I care about decaying anything here? Like, I do want to hit a frog, but I don't actually care about a frog. It's probably more correct to start by show and telling a Citadel. With my Lotus on blue. That's my gut instinct anyways. I guess it could go badly if my opponent plays a Lavinia. They're thinking about it? What would thinking about it mean? An oath on top. Cast. An Atraxa on top. Cast. That's quite the good one. And then we hit Time Walk. Okay, so I think we won this game. Well, I probably should have found a black source. My bad. I think I'll just go to my next turn. I don't... If I had a Gaia's Blessing, I would do some crazy things here, but I don't have a Gaia's Blessing currently in my deck, so I'm not going to do anything more. I know the other Atraxa is like very close to the bottom of my library as well. The last Atraxa. So I don't actually think I need to do that. They're off it. Wow. That is quite the steal, I must say. Definitely should have gotten a black source. I should have gotten a Misty Rainforest, not a Tropical Island. That was a pretty big mistake. And not a mistake that probably matters, but it's still a pretty big mistake. Wow. Impressive. Very impressive. Now can we beat the 4 Containment Priests? That's the next thing. I wonder if you're supposed to bring in Portal in this matchup. Now that I think about it, it doesn't seem bad. I remember having extra cards I wanted to board out, right? Wasn't there a card I wanted to board out? Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like it, actually. Um, okay, what do I have? I have a show and tell? Sure. Seems fine. Brainstorm off of Sapphire, nice. Can still use fetch land. Oh, I didn't really mean to F6, but I guess I'll take it. It's a lot of it's a lot of fast mana for that deck. Flash is super sick here though. Lovely draw. There's almost no world I'm ever playing around the 1 days, right? We did see the days, but oh, the thing about spell piercing my Ruby, I would love that. Please do that. Do that every single time. Oh, they're gonna do it? Chat. Really? There's no way. Oh, okay, they didn't do it. I guess I could have brainstormed while I'm not getting Bowmastered. Oh, Containment Priest. Am I supposed to jam Flash now? Going to overdraw. Kind of don't feel like it. Oh, thanks, Ruben. It's kind of silly to just like play it into counter magic, but maybe it means oh, I guess like I have to, right? wait, I still yeah, I guess I had to do it. My bad. It's fine. Like we can still do brainstorm things and figure out a way through here. I don't know why I thought I could flash through a containment priest. Medium luck. I would take some more if you had more. This would be a great time for like the classic show and tell portal. All right, I'll take a little more. Frog gaming. I kind of need to see like what exactly we're doing. Tap out a bowmaster. Oh, we're dying. Oh, we're dying. No, I should have flashed. And originally I was like, I don't want to flash because I'm gonna like seriously overdraw, but I was supposed to flash. It was not close. It was not close. I think I'm just gonna lose now. That's my fault though. I just did not hit the button. I mean, we are getting closer to. If we draw a Mox next turn, we can theoretically hard cast an Atraxa. So like, there's still chances here. Well, what was the other card I put back? A show and tell, right? Yeah. Maybe I'm starts to keep both show and tells so that I can show and tell a Citadel if I show and tell the other thing if I draw a portal. I'm getting wastelanded, so it doesn't matter. I played this game badly, and I deserve to lose. I need to get some food in me. I think that's the key here. Wrong gaming, yeah. I mean, I have a good draw, and it's Portal to Phyrexia, or Tinker. It would be quite strong here. Narset. I won't say no. Ancestral Recall. Classic Bayou Gaming. I think I can just wait, though. I think I can wait. It's very unfortunate that Narset, frogs attacking Narset actually do draw cards. And drew a show and tell. All right, well, this is my last play of the game. That's actually really tough. So I can go Oko, turn off Priest, Flash, hit Lotus Time Walk, I guess is my best out. It's not a very nice one, but Thought Seizing doesn't really do it here. Definitely played this game so badly. Sure. Yeah, my bad. I mean, we don't know if it would have resolved or not. And we would have been just in the same place if it didn't, but I guess I have to force this, right? Am I dead? I'm like dead on the swing back, right? 1, 2, 3. I guess I'm not technically dead on the swing back. I'm still forcing it. I think this is my last turn. I don't think we're gonna resolve a spell this turn, but I'm gonna try my best. And even if we do, they might just like play another Containment Priest. Play this game, just not good. Not good. Turn 1 Containment Priest off of Mox is part of the reason I don't want to play this matchup. So they have cut a lot of Moxes. My opponent is doing a lot of pausing, which makes me believe that this is not going to work in the way I would like it to work, but Second Containment Priest. And really just make sure this is bad for me. It is bad for me. Very nice. All right. Okay. Let's see if we can tighten up for this game 3 here. But 4 Containment Priest is always 4 Containment Priest. Do 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 do. Yeah. I feel like I have a hard time putting this back, even though it doesn't actually have any action in it. We have a lot of reasonable draws and some quite good cards in hand. Time Walk. It does not feel like a card I'm allowed to cast. Sure. See my secrets. Wasteland's pretty good. Classic Wasteland Gaming. Wasteland can be very brutal for this deck. I don't know. This is kind of how I felt. I mean, last year when I registered this deck at Eternal Weekend and played against 3 Esper Lurrus players, it was pretty miserable. And the deck has only gotten better by cutting Saga. This might have been a Time Walk angle. It's a Bowmaster, or is it a Containment Priest? It's fine. I really don't have very many draw spells in my deck. It's just Ancestral Brainstorm, right? Does start to put a clock on me, makes things like Citadel worse, so it's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's like game 2. I just lose if they have a force as well. So it's not like game 2 was a win if I played Flash. Like if my Flash gets countered, I also just lose on the spot. So, right. No. The matchup, like you play more Okos, but like they still attack your mana. Like you can play these long goodbyes and Replicades, which you have to play. It's just not. It's just like a fund. Like on a fundamental deck construction level, it's just not a good matchup. Like you can make it better, but like not better enough. That is. I should probably have time walked last turn, huh? I didn't really want to get my blue land wastelanded though, so it's kind of tough. Probably no reason to have a second show and tell. It's kind of funny because the blue-black Lurrus matchup is not actually that bad because they can't play Containment Priest. But once they get 4 Containment Priests, like 4 is a lot of Containment Priests. It's very hard to match up against 4 Containment Priests. Another force. Just wasteland things. Am I getting rid of Flash? I think I'm getting rid of force. Maybe I should get rid of Time Walk. Sorry, I'm not willing to cast it. Oh, they have Lavinia too. Yeah. What is my out here? Right. We got some looks here. Sure. You got me. Does this mean I get wastelanded? Nope. Nine life. I want to buy a Lurrus. Just let me buy a Lurrus. Seems fair. I don't know. It looks bad. Yo, Darkest Mage. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. We're currently in the 5th round of our Vintage League, prepping for Eternal Weekend, trying out Oath, and getting bullied by the cats. I'm looking a little dead. That is my best draw. I mean, Atraxa might be a better draw, but... I mean, it was very likely not to resolve, but, like, I have to force the Lavinias or I just don't have forces, right? So... not much I have choice in the matter. 4 cards in my opponent's hand. Still hasn't bought Lurrus. Not a great sign. Playing Frog over buying Lurrus to get closer to Containment Priest Lavinia is very interesting to me. Oh, I guess I'm dead to Frog, so I guess that makes perfect sense to me. Let's taunt our opponent a little bit here with a nice... see if they had another piece of counter magic. I think they know that I have Flash, though, from Probe. Yeah, they don't want to show me. Fair enough. We died. Anyways, so this went about exactly as planned. We did get a nice win against one of the Esper Lurrus players, which is more than I can reasonably expect. We beat Pio, which was actually probably not a great matchup in hindsight. Crushed by Jewel, which is the biggest problem, I think, with registering a deck like this. Even though we have 3 null rods in our sideboard, it's not enough. And we played against some weird decks, right? We played against a 5-color Deathrite Shaman deck, 4-color Deathrite Shaman deck. Pretty interesting. I would still not recommend registering this deck for Eternal Weekend. I don't like the matchup spread. I really dislike the way how all in the deck is. We had some nice comeback games, but they're really, really top deck dependent because you just don't have a legitimate number of ways to filter your card draw and card selection. It's not like we're running ponders, multiple tops, or anything like that. We do have one top. You could play ponder in this deck, but every time you take away cards from your powerful engines, your deck becomes less powerful, and then at some point your deck is no longer worth registering for the reasons that you initially registered it for. That being said, I do think there's still reasonable controlling Oath decks that can be built. They have a totally different matchup spread problem against the field. So I think it's a nice way to cap off this Eternal Testing League and just kind of reaffirming my assumptions that when it came to this Oath deck, more vintage content like this one on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will see you then.